Breathe, reflect, release. Imagine standing alone in a quiet forest, the hum of life around you soft and slow, your breath the only sound anchoring you to now. In this sacred pause, your thoughts begin to settle, no longer chasing timelines or to-do lists. Instead, they turn inward, asking deeper questions about who you are beneath the roles, beneath the noise. What if in this stillness you discovered the grounding wisdom of presence, not as an escape, but as a return to yourself, to what matters? Through the lens of mindfulness, Buddhist thought, and gentle self-awareness, you're invited to come home to the present moment. Thich Nhat Hanh reminds us, peace is every step. Each breath becomes a doorway, each moment a teacher. Let this quiet understanding replace the rush, soften your striving, and remind you that your worth is not earned, it simply is. Just as the moon reflects fully on still water, your truth emerges not through effort, but surrender. The Buddhist path doesn't demand perfection, it invites compassion. Compassion for yourself, for your journey, for your becoming. And when shame or judgment rise like passing storms, let them pass. Do not hold on. Do not resist. Let the rain fall and trust the soil it nourishes. In these moments of letting go, you're not giving up. You're coming alive. And in the final hush of night, where thoughts dim and silence blooms, remember you are enough. You've always been enough. Now breathe, reflect, release. Flow, trust, release. Sanctuary rich with possibility. In this stillness may you find rest, renewal, and the seeds of wisdom that will guide you forward when morning comes. What if true strength came not from control, but from surrender? Imagine a life where peace isn't something you chase, but something you uncover by simply letting go. Letting go of the fear that grips your chest. Letting go of the pressure to be perfect, always prepared, always performing. Letting go of what no longer serves your growth. Today we explore a story, an idea, a path, one rooted not in striving, but in trust. There was once a sculptor who carved statues from stone. One day, a young apprentice asked him how he made such lifelike forms. The sculptor smiled and replied, "I simply chip away everything that is not the statue. This is the art of letting go, not adding more, but releasing what hides our essence." Through the wisdom of Taoism, we learn the power of Wu Wei, the quiet strength of effortless action. The Tao, the Way, is not something to be mastered, it is something to align with. Like water flowing around stones, we are invited to move with life, not against it. Harmony isn't forced, it's felt. Balance is not achieved by effort, but by presence. In this way, we let go not as an act of defeat, but of deep courage. The courage to trust the unfolding, the patience to wait for what's true, the simplicity to stop grasping and start being. Let the yin and yang of your life, the light and the shadow, dance together without resistance. Let every loss remind you of space for growth. Let every ending whisper of a new beginning. Because when we stop forcing outcomes, we open to peace. When we stop controlling, we discover connection. When we stop resisting, we become. So tonight, as the world quiets and your thoughts begin to slow, may you remember this. You are not here to fight the current. You are here to float, to breathe, to trust. Let go, let go, let go. Trust, breathe, unfold. Imagine standing in a quiet garden, morning dew still clinging to leaves, the world not yet rushing. In this stillness, may you find rest, renewal, and the seeds of wisdom that will guide you forward when morning comes. What if the path to peace wasn't found in control, but in release? What if the key to clarity was simply trusting the process? For example, if you are working on a project and encounter a problem, instead of stressing and forcing a solution, you might take a step back, relax, and allow a natural solution to present itself. Often, when we stop trying so hard to control every detail, things work out more smoothly and effectively. Wu Wei teaches us to trust the process and have faith that things will happen as they are meant to, without excessive effort or force. Simplicity and patience The beauty of a simple life are at the heart of this way. Simplicity isn't just having fewer things, it's needing less, craving less, chasing less. It's finding contentment in what is. And patience? In a world addicted to speed, patience becomes a quiet rebellion. Good things take time, growth takes time, peace takes time. Taoism reminds us not to rush, but to dwell in the present, to let each moment bloom in its own rhythm. This simplicity and patience allow us to be more present, more mindful, more alive. Non-attachment, too, is central. Freedom from the illusion that we need anything outside ourselves to feel whole. Possessions, titles, rigid beliefs, even our egos, can trap us in cycles of striving and fear. Taoism encourages us to enjoy life's offerings without letting them define our happiness. It reminds us that clinging is suffering and that true peace lies in openness, open to change, open to new ideas, open to letting go. When we release the grip of ego, the voice always demanding more, we uncover something softer, truer, a sense of oneness with the world, a return to what we already are, whole, complete, and flowing. Tonight, as the world quiets and your thoughts begin to slow, remember, life is not a race to be won or a puzzle to be solved. It is a river, and you are the water. Let go, trust, breathe, unfold. Release, renewal, rise. Sanctuary, rich with possibility. In this stillness, may you find rest, renewal, and the seeds of wisdom that will guide you forward when morning comes. What if the secret to a more peaceful, fulfilling life was not found in doing more, but in letting go? Imagine a life free from the weight of control, pressure, and expectation. One of the most significant benefits of letting go is the profound sense of mental peace it brings. In our fast-paced world, stress and anxiety often rule our days, deadlines, goals, unspoken pressures. But by embracing the Taoist practice of release, we can soften that grip. When we stop trying to control every detail and simply allow life to unfold, we create space for calmness and clarity. Letting go means trusting that things will work out as they are meant to, without constant intervention. This shift frees us from cycles of worry and tension, allowing serenity to rise, and it doesn't stop there. Improved relationships are another gift. So many conflicts stem from our desire to control others or force expectations. When we let go of these tendencies, we allow people to be who they truly are. We meet them with empathy, without judgment, and build trust from a place of openness. This freedom nurtures deeper connection and mutual respect. Taoism teaches us that non-attachment is not detachment, it is liberation, a release from defining ourselves or others by rigid beliefs, outcomes, or possessions. When we let go, we relate more joyfully and honestly. This spaciousness also fuels creativity. When we cling to perfection or fear failure, our ideas become confined. But letting go opens us up to risk, to play, to imagine without limits. Innovation thrives where ego is quiet. We express more authentically when we're not chasing approval. And finally, the greatest gift, personal freedom. Letting go liberates us from fear, from the illusion of control, from external validation. It gives us the courage to follow our own path, no matter how unconventional. It allows us to move through life with resilience and grace, finding fulfillment not in what we accumulate, but in how we live. So tonight, as your thoughts begin to soften and the stillness settles in, remember, peace is not something to chase. It's something you uncover when you release, renew, and rise. Let go and become. Let life lead. Sanctuary rich with possibility. In this stillness, may you find rest, renewal, and the seeds of wisdom that will guide you forward when morning comes. We are not confined by the limitations and expectations imposed by others. The benefits of letting go are vast and transformative. By embracing the principles of Taoism, we can experience greater mental peace, improve our relationships, enhance our creativity, and achieve a profound sense of personal freedom. Letting go is not about giving up or being passive. It is about trusting the natural flow of life and allowing things to unfold as they are meant to. It is about releasing the burdens that weigh us down and opening ourselves up to the limitless possibilities that life has to offer. As we learn to let go, we discover that true happiness and fulfillment come not from holding on, but from flowing with the ever-changing currents of life. Practice letting go through mindfulness and meditation, powerful tools to train the mind to stay present, to release attachment to past regrets and future fears. Mindful breathing, quiet awareness, and gentle observation help us recognize the unnecessary weight we carry. Meditation grounds us, helping us release tension and build the capacity to accept what is. Acceptance is not weakness, but strength. It's the recognition that some things lie beyond our control and that our energy is best spent on what we can change. Through self-compassion, we embrace our flaws and meet ourselves with kindness. We stop seeking approval and instead begin to believe we are enough as we are. Decluttering, both physical and mental, is a practical expression of letting go. When we clear the space around us, we clear the space within us. Every drawer cleaned, every grudge released, brings us closer to peace. Journaling becomes a gateway for release, offering clarity and closure, but perhaps the hardest and most freeing practice of all is letting go of control. Our desire to orchestrate every detail of our lives stems from fear, but control is an illusion, and clinging to it only brings anxiety. Letting go of control means learning to trust the process. It means believing that things will unfold as they're meant to, even when the path is unclear. We remember the past moments when uncertainty led to unexpected blessings, and we trust life's rhythm. Practicing gratitude helps shift our focus from lack to abundance. Engaging in flow-based activities like painting, dancing, walking in nature teaches us to surrender, to be fully immersed in now. And setting boundaries reminds us that while we cannot control others, we can honor our own space, needs, and peace. Letting go is not abandonment, it is alignment. It is choosing calm over chaos, presence over pressure, and faith over fear. And so, as night falls and the world softens, remember this: you don't need to control every detail to live fully. You need only to let life lead. Real lives transformed. To understand how the principles of Taoism and the art of letting go can be applied in real life, let's look at some personal stories. These anecdotes illustrate how individuals have used these principles to find greater peace, happiness, and success. One such story is about Maya, a creative director who was constantly battling self-doubt and perfectionism. Despite her talent, she struggled with the pressure to always exceed expectations, which led to burnout and dissatisfaction. Maya's turning point came when she discovered the Taoist idea of Wu Wei, or effortless action. She began practicing mindfulness and journaling daily, allowing her thoughts to flow without judgment. By letting go of the need to control every outcome, Maya found new clarity in her work and deeper joy in her creative process. Her relationships improved as she stopped projecting her inner tension onto others and embraced authenticity. Maya's story shows how letting go can rejuvenate both professional and personal life. Another compelling story is that of Arjun, a teacher who carried resentment from a broken friendship. The emotional weight drained his energy and strained his connections with others. Through the Taoist practice of non-attachment, Arjun learned to let go of old grudges. He embraced forgiveness, not as a favor to the past, but as a gift to his future. Daily meditation and breathwork helped him release emotional baggage and cultivate compassion. Over time, he became calmer, more present, and more open-hearted. His transformation highlighted the healing power of emotional release. The principles of Taoism and letting go are also embodied by celebrated figures. Bruce Lee, the legendary martial artist, famously taught, "Be water, my friend." Influenced deeply by Taoist wisdom, he embraced fluidity and adaptability, letting go of rigid styles to create his own path. His philosophy and career serve as living proof of Taoism's power. Lao Tzu, the founder of Taoism, lived his teachings by stepping away from status and ambition, choosing simplicity and harmony with nature, a reminder that peace often lies beyond worldly success. Steve Jobs, co-founder of Apple, embodied letting go in the realm of innovation. He once said, "You are already naked. There is no reason not to follow your heart." His ability to release fear and attachment to fixed plans opened space for bold creativity and progress. These examples show that Taoist principles are not abstract. They are practical tools for transformation. From Maya's creative freedom to Arjun's emotional healing, from Bruce Lee's fluidity to Lao Tzu's simplicity and Steve Jobs' fearless innovation, we see how letting go leads to peace and purpose. As we reflect on these stories, let's remember, letting go is not giving up. It's stepping into trust. Trust in the process, in the flow of life, and in ourselves. Whether you're releasing expectations, control, or fear, the path of letting go leads to greater alignment, freedom, and fulfillment. And in that stillness, we find the truth that to become what we might be, we must first let go of who we think we must be. Embrace present truth. Practiced yet often overlooked, the power of acceptance calls us to embrace the here and now, fully, completely, and without resistance. In the quiet wisdom of Marcus Aurelius, we find an invitation to surrender, not in defeat, but in strength, to the present moment, to what is. Acceptance is not passive. It is an active alignment with reality, a willingness to let go of what we cannot change and to meet life as it unfolds. In today's world of endless distraction and constant striving, this may feel counterintuitive. Yet, as Aurelius reminds us, our deepest liberation lies not in controlling circumstances, but in flowing with them. Whether basking in joy or grappling with hardship, peace comes when we stop wrestling with the moment and begin to witness it. This is the heart of Stoicism: objective judgment now, unselfish action now, willing acceptance now, three practices that forge the foundation of inner tranquility. Marcus Aurelius didn't merely write about virtue, he lived it in the chaos of empire, in the silence of reflection. Stoicism is not about suppressing emotion or dismissing pain. It's about transforming our relationship with both through reason and virtue. It teaches that happiness is not the product of pleasure or possessions, but of the quality of our thoughts. Guard your mind, he says, for within it lies the blueprint of your life. From fame to failure, all is fleeting. Aurelius knew this well. Impermanence is not a threat, but a truth that liberates. It is in confronting life's transience that we find the courage to live fully, love fiercely, and let go freely. Within us, he believed, is a fountain of good, waiting to rise if we only dig. Self-reflection becomes our compass, leading us into the inner landscape where clarity is born. And as storms of emotion rage, Stoicism empowers us not to be untouched, but to be unbroken. Choose not to be harmed, and you will not feel harmed. The soul becomes dyed with the color of its thoughts, and thus, through mindfulness, we shape our reality. In this mental stillness, gratitude blooms, a quiet defiance against a culture of lack. Each morning becomes a miracle, to breathe, to think, to love. And when adversity strikes, as it always does, it becomes our teacher. What stands in the way becomes the way. Marcus calls us to love our fate, not because it is easy, but because it is ours. In this love of fate, this amor fati, we rise resilient, forged in the fire of challenge. Through it all, the compass of integrity must remain unshaken, not guided by gain, but by character. Integrity is the anchor of a soul in motion, the quiet force that defines our worth by what we pursue. In this ever-changing world, Marcus Aurelius offers us not escape, but engagement, with clarity, with courage, with calm. Look within, live now, be one. Unshakable inner fortitude. In the crucible of existence, where challenges arise unbidden and uncertainty looms, inner strength becomes not just a virtue, but a necessity. As Marcus Aurelius reminds us, the universe is change, our life is what our thoughts make it. These words illuminate the essence of Stoic resilience, a calm defiance against the chaos of the external world, and a conscious shaping of our internal landscape. Inner strength is not brute endurance, it is cultivated clarity. It begins with truth, an unwavering commitment to honesty, even when confronted by adversity or temptation. The true worth of a man is to be measured by the objects he pursues. These words beckon us to live with integrity, grounding ourselves in purpose over appearances. In a world overwhelmed by misinformation and illusion, reason serves as our compass. Everything we hear is an opinion, not a fact. Everything we see is a perspective, not the truth. It is through rational thought, not reactive emotion, that we distinguish wisdom from noise. Yet to remain rooted through life's changing currents, we must embrace equanimity, the balanced state of accepting what fate brings with full presence and love. From that balance springs inner peace, for the soul becomes dyed with the color of its thoughts. Peace is not found in avoidance, but in facing turmoil with a quiet, cultivated mind. In facing trials, resilience emerges. The obstacle is the way. Each difficulty, rather than deterring us, becomes the very catalyst for transformation. But strength lies too in moderation. Moderation in all things, not deprivation but harmony, choosing enough over excess. Life, after all, is change. Time is a river, Aurelius wrote, ever flowing, never still. And in embracing this impermanence, we unlock peace. The greatest challenge, though, may lie within, the ego. It never ceases to amaze me. We all love ourselves more than other people, but care more about their opinion than our own. Letting go of ego is not weakness, it is liberation. From this humility, we discover that life's purpose is not in isolation, but in service. What is not good for the beehive cannot be good for the bees. We flourish only when others do too. Even amidst success, Marcus urges humility. Let it be your constant method to look into the design of people's actions, and to make this custom more significant, practice it first upon yourself. True greatness, he teaches, lies in reflection, not self-congratulation. In cultivating this inner strength, we find a timeless truth. Our reality is shaped not by fate, but by the strength of our thoughts. Embrace inner power. In the stillness of reflection, Marcus Aurelius understood the transformative power of inner strength, recognizing that true greatness lies not in the absence of adversity, but in our ability to overcome it with courage and fortitude. These words serve as a reminder that our thoughts shape our reality, influencing our emotions and actions in profound ways. Developing inner strength is not a matter of brute force or unyielding determination, but a cultivation of resilience and self-awareness. It requires us to confront our fears and insecurities with courage and honesty, recognizing that true growth arises not from comfort, but from adversity. By embracing life's challenges with grace and equanimity, we tap into a wellspring of inner strength, empowering us to navigate the vicissitudes of existence with clarity and calm. And within this journey of fortitude lies a more sobering truth. You could leave life right now. Let that determine what you do and say and think. In the shadow of mortality, the inevitability of death emerges not as a morbid fear, but as a profound catalyst, a call to live with purpose and urgency. Embracing mortality is not a surrender to despair, but a celebration of life's impermanence, a recognition that each moment is a fleeting gift, worthy of presence and gratitude. By confronting death with equanimity, we free ourselves from the shackles of fear and regret, allowing us to embrace life with open arms and open hearts. The meditations of Marcus Aurelius serve as a timeless reservoir of wisdom, offering profound insights into the nature of existence and the art of living well. Throughout this journey, we have explored the acceptance of the present moment, the power of rational thought, the necessity of humility, and the transformative essence of resilience. We have learned to live in harmony with nature, to welcome change, to find meaning in service, and to walk with courage in the face of mortality. These are not just philosophical musings, they are guiding principles for a life of depth, clarity, and inner peace. For in the end, true greatness is not measured by the accolades we receive or the material wealth we amass, but by the strength of our character, the virtue of our actions, and the clarity of our minds. Let us embrace these truths with intention, living each day not in pursuit of perfection, but in alignment with virtue, reason, and unwavering self-awareness. Ask Chat GPT. Transience holds beauty, challenges, embracing transience. The beauty of life is in its impermanence. Embrace the dance of change. These powerful words invite us to consider the often overlooked virtue of transience, an essential aspect of the philosophy that celebrates imperfection and impermanence. This perspective challenges us to rethink our relationship with the temporary nature of life. Life itself is a series of moments, each fleeting and unique, much like the cherry blossoms that bloom spectacularly but briefly each spring in Japan. These blossoms are revered not despite, but because of their short-lived beauty, symbolizing the precious, impermanent nature of life. Impermanence in this philosophical context teaches us that everything, our joys, sorrows, challenges, and triumphs, is temporary. This truth becomes a source of comfort during hardship, reminding us that pain does not last forever. At the same time, it encourages us to savor joyful moments, knowing they too will pass. This dual awareness shifts our experience of life, guiding us to live more fully in the present, engage deeply with what is, and release the need to control what may come. Like the seasons cycling from bloom to fall, impermanence teaches us to welcome change, knowing that both dark winters and bright springs shape the beauty of our lives. By embracing this rhythm, we reduce anxiety over the future and regrets of the past, finding balance and peace in the now. This philosophy also redefines how we relate to mortality. By acknowledging life as a temporary journey, we lessen the existential dread and instead find motivation to live meaningfully. Transience encourages mindfulness, reminding us that life is not about clinging to permanence, but about participating fully in each fleeting moment. Even our emotions, joy and sorrow alike, are seen as waves to ride, not problems to fix. Accepting this truth fosters emotional richness, allowing us to embrace both light and shadow without fear. Ultimately, embracing impermanence transforms how we live. We learn to find beauty in aging objects, meaning in changing circumstances, and value in what is no longer flawless. The cracks, the shifts, the fades, all become reminders of a life vibrantly lived. As we let go of perfection and permanence, we begin to dance with change itself, gracefully, gratefully, and fully present. Slow living wisdom. Satisfaction blooms in embracing life's simple pleasures, a timeless lesson reminding us that fulfillment springs not from chasing endless success or wealth, but from savoring the present moment and engaging deeply with the world around us. Slow living centers on mindfulness, being fully present, attentive to each experience without distraction, inviting us to taste every meal, hear every word, and see every leaf in quiet walks. Simplicity complements this by encouraging decluttering our physical and mental spaces, focusing on what truly matters rather than more possessions or commitments. Quality over quantity guides us to cherish fewer, richer experiences, a handcrafted item, a slow meal with loved ones, or a meaningful project pursued with care. Connection is key, deep relationships with others, with nature, and with ourselves. nurtured through time spent together and reflective solitude, restore our sense of belonging and peace, while adopting slow, living faces challenges, modern demands, digital distractions, and accessibility concerns. Its essence remains a profound invitation to pause, reflect, and choose a balanced, intentional life filled with joy, clarity, and meaningful connections. Embrace slow living simplicity, mindfulness, and connection. Guide us toward a deeper understanding of life's true essence, inviting us to slow down amid the chaos of modern existence. By shedding physical and mental clutter, we awaken to the present moment and discover richness beyond societal measures of success and busyness. Inspired by the slow living ethos and thinkers like Thoreau and Young, this philosophy challenges us to resist the relentless pace and distractions around us, favoring intentional choices that nurture fulfillment, balance, and genuine relationships. Though embracing slow living means facing the pressures of a fast-moving, productivity-driven culture, it ultimately offers a path to living more deeply with reflection and meaning at its core, a timeless journey toward presence, stillness, and the vibrant joy of truly paying attention to life unfolding all around us. Existence and Freedom. Being and Nothingness, published in 1943, stands as Sartre's most influential work, an intricate exploration of phenomenology and existentialism, dissecting human consciousness, freedom, and existence itself. Sartre distinguishes between being in itself, the objective existence of things without consciousness, and being for itself, the subjective state of conscious beings, where true human freedom lies. Our consciousness, defined by nothingness, separates us from the world, allowing us to question reality and imagine what could be, making us perpetual projects of becoming, not fixed beings. Sartre's existentialism shines in the idea that man is the totality of what he does not yet have, emphasizing future possibilities over past identity. Meanwhile, Camus, born in 1913, introduces the philosophy of the absurd, capturing the tension between our search for meaning and a silent, indifferent universe. Through works like Nausea and The Stranger, Camus portrays characters wrestling with existential despair, but ultimately embracing revolt, a defiant affirmation of life despite absurdity. His myth of Sisyphus metaphorically frames life's endless struggle, urging us to find happiness in the effort itself, choosing authentic living and personal values amid meaninglessness. Together, Sartre and Camus invite us to confront freedom and absurdity head-on, urging us to create meaning, embrace responsibility, and live authentically in a world without inherent purpose. Embrace life's absurdity validation, moreover, emerges when we confront and embrace life's inherent absurdity, as proposed by Camus. In doing so, fulfillment becomes possible, not by viewing challenges, setbacks, and suffering as interruptions, but as integral parts of our existence. These moments serve as opportunities for growth and reaffirmation of our chosen path. A failure is no longer a barrier, but a chance to reevaluate, learn, and continue with renewed determination. Existentialism provides a powerful lens to navigate life's complexity, empowering us to make conscious choices and create purpose. In today's chaotic world, the wisdom of Sartre and Camus remains profoundly relevant, urging us to question assumptions, embrace freedom, and author our own meaning. As you reflect on this, remember, your existence is yours to define, and with agency and authenticity, you can live deeply, meaningfully, and fully. Love's deep roots life as eros. Philia thrives on mutual goodwill, equality, and shared virtues. Aristotle's highest form of love, the friendship of virtue, which transcends utility or pleasure and rests on a genuine appreciation of the other's character, a stable love valuing who they truly are, not what they provide. This aligns closely with Fromm's idea of love as active participation and profound understanding, rejecting superficial bonds. Moving to John Bowlby's attachment theory, early caregiver bonds shape adult love styles. Secure attachments foster healthy intimacy, while anxious or avoidant styles challenge relationship stability, highlighting the subconscious roots of love. Complementing Fromm's focus on conscious love as an art, Carl Rogers' humanistic view emphasizes empathy, unconditional positive regard, and acceptance without judgment, mirroring Fromm's respect and care in love's nurturing process. In contrast, Nietzsche's idea of love as a will to power sees love as an expression of life force and individual growth, diverging from Fromm's view of love as mutual care and responsibility. Together, these perspectives, from Plato's pursuit of truth and beauty, Aristotle's virtue, Bowlby's attachment, Rogers' empathy, to Nietzsche's power, paint a rich, multifaceted portrait of love, deepening our understanding beyond any single view. Timeless love, wisdom. As we close this journey through love's vast landscape, we reflect on Fromm's revolutionary idea in the art of loving. Love is not just emotion, but an art requiring knowledge, effort, and practice, embracing brotherly love, romantic love, self-love, and divine love, grounded in care, responsibility, respect, and knowledge. In today's fast-paced digital world, applying these principles helps us navigate relationships with depth and authenticity. We broadened our view through Plato's transcendence of physical love, Aristotle's friendship of virtue, Bowlby's attachment theory revealing early bonds shaping adult intimacy, Rogers' unconditional positive regard, and Nietzsche's will to power emphasizing individual growth, each adding unique insight. Finally, the ancient Stoic Seneca teaches us to treasure time, embrace life's impermanence, cultivate inner peace, and cherish true friendship, the kind that withstands fear, loss, and death. His letters urge us to live wisely, accept what we cannot control, and grow through shared understanding, reminding us that love, self-acceptance, and friendship form the foundation of a fulfilled life. This rich tapestry invites you to love deeply, live fully, and connect authentically, for as Fromm said, love is the only sane and satisfactory answer to the human condition. Timeless inner strength. You may be sure that such a person is a true friend to all mankind. It is December, yet the city sweats with preparations and merrymaking, as if the Saturnalia were no different from any ordinary day. Indeed, December now feels like a whole year. If you were here, I would consult you about whether to maintain our daily routine or to join the public in brighter festivities, though Romans only changed their dress for pleasure in peaceful times, unlike in hard days past. I suspect, as a fair judge, you'd agree we should neither mimic the rowdy crowd entirely nor reject all celebration, but instead show constancy by choosing moderation, remaining sober when others indulge, yet joining them in spirit without excess. To test this strength, I propose we set aside days to live simply, rough clothes, coarse food, minimal fare, to toughen the soul while fortune smiles, so it won't flinch when hardships arrive. This practice is no hollow stunt, but a real trial, teaching us to cherish modesty and self-control over luxury, revealing peace that wealth cannot buy. Even Epicurus endorsed such restraint, living on scant meals to prove happiness does not depend on abundance. So, my dear friend, let us face poverty freely as a rehearsal for life's storms and cling to the divine spirit within, which guards us and gives us strength beyond fortune's whims. For a soul aligned with the divine, unfazed by external goods, shines brightest, not because of gold or glory, but because of its own inner worth and steadfastness. Enduring true strength, the lion adorned with gilded chains, weary and tamed, enters the arena with a burdened spirit, unlike the fierce wild lion, untamed and proud, whose bold attacks demand respect and evoke fear. True glory belongs to the untamed, not the gilded. Just as we praise a fruitful vine for its natural fertility, rather than one heavy with false golden leaves, so must a man be honored for his own true virtues, his soul and reason perfected, rather than for wealth, status, or adornments imposed from without. For man's highest good is living according to his nature, exercising reason to resist the madness and vices that surround him, standing firm like a well-disciplined army ready for every assault. Joy and pleasure are fleeting shadows, often mistaken for true happiness, which comes only from a spirit at peace with its own goodness and reason, never swayed by external chaos or empty praise. Thus, the wise man faces poverty, pain, disgrace, and sorrow, unflinchingly, his strength rooted not in appearances, but in the soul's steadfast mastery of itself, the only true and enduring. Folly's relentless grip. Why does folly hold us so tightly? Because we fight it half-heartedly and trust wisdom too little, treating the battle for virtue like a trivial chore, skimming its surface while indulging vices. We are easily satisfied with shallow praise, even flattery, mistaking it for truth, clinging to false images of ourselves, unwilling to reform, much like Alexander, proud yet wounded, reminded by pain of his mortality. True wisdom brings steady joy, calm like the moon's serene sky, unshaken by fears or desires, unlike those chasing fleeting pleasures, feasting, fame, lust, that breed only sorrow and unrest. We must see life's brevity clearly, rejecting empty hopes and postponements, for no one owns the morrow, and every delay risks losing the present. Noble living, not mere longevity, is the goal, for prolonged suffering or hollow existence is worse than a swift end. Seneca's ancient letters urge us to seize each day as a complete life, face death without fear, and cultivate inner virtue that yields unbroken joy. This wisdom, timeless and urgent, calls us not merely to listen, but to transform, making our fleeting moments a masterpiece of meaning and strength.